So lately, I've been seeing a lot of YouTubers make videos about how to start a channel. More so basically about how to start a gaming channel because, well, that's what I'm usually recommended. And I thought I could add a little bit to this conversation as someone who started one. And in a way, I think it's better coming from someone who doesn't have as large of a following because, well, sometimes it can feel disheartening to hear people with large followings talk about just start recording, but what does that exactly mean to you? I mean, I don't like to hate on anyone, but I have to say, when hearing someone who has made it in the way that we consider making it, with a large following, we tend to think, well, it's all worked out for them. They know what they're doing. But at the same time, when we start, we don't see ourselves growing maybe as fast as they did. We maybe assume that we're doing something wrong even though we're following all of their advice. So what are we doing wrong? And we did what they said, but nothing's happening. So I think maybe coming from someone who doesn't have a large following, maybe it can feel better, better in knowing that the reality of it is that it's not going to be perfect at first, and you're going to be trying hard for a long time, and people are not going to see that the way you do. There's going to be people that tell you, who ask you, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? It's not working, but it's not going to work at first, and that's honestly by design. YouTube is not what it used to be, nor is any social media platform. When a lot of the people that we watch, they started more than 10 years ago. And 10 years ago, there weren't half the people on YouTube that there are now. Things have changed. You can't expect it to be the same or as perfect or as easy as it was back then. Not only that, but there were features back then that made it easier. And, well, today we have this idea that it should be fast, that we should wake up one day and have this ginormous following that we didn't have the night before, and that after that we'd be perfectly set up for life. We could do this with our lives, and that is the dream of so many people, and honestly, I'm going to say that it is mine as well, but I've learned something over the past year and a half, I guess, that I've been doing this, and it's that every person counts. I've always been the kind of person that's been very logical. I've seen numbers and tried my best to figure them out, but YouTube is a bit different. Numbers aren't what we think they are. When I see numbers, I think that they're just that. But then I look at my subscriber count and I realize that those aren't just numbers. That is people, real people in the world right now that decided that they would give me a chance. And right now, a lot of people would assume that that's not many people. But, I mean, come on, look at what my subscriber count is right now, and look at a picture of how many people that is. That's a lot. And we don't usually assume it is. We see YouTubers with millions and millions of subscribers and think that that is the norm, that is perfection in a way, that is what we should just be expecting. And maybe it is, based off of how many people there are in the world, 8 billion, and, well, and counting, seeing as we aren't entirely sure. But I think about how many people you know. Maybe it's a couple hundred, out of the course of your life, you've met a couple hundreds of people. I mean, and there have been times where you've been around a couple thousand, if you've ever been to a concert or anything, but things aren't like that. YouTube isn't like that. You don't see those thousands of people. You don't see those tens of people. I mean, 50 people, the number 50 out of all the numbers that you learn in life doesn't seem that high of one. But if you've been in a room with 50 people, you know that it can be a lot and insanely overwhelming. And if you think about the fact that those 50 people are 50 people who agree that you're worth watching, you're worth seeing, that's maybe enough. And that's not coming from someone who has millions of people that think they're enough. That's coming from someone with not that much at all. That's coming from someone who right now is around 2,500. And that's, you know, it doesn't feel like a lot at times. But then I sit down and realize that sometimes we need to take a step back from what we're used to seeing. We have to take a step back to reflect on the fact that over time, expectations have changed. At one point in life, computers weren't even like a thought in someone's mind. And now today, it's an expectation that you have one in your pocket. You can't get through life without one. My point here is that life has changed, and the world has changed, and the internet has changed from the thing we've known for most of our lives, the thing that some of us have grown up on, the thing that some of us had to quickly figure out to be able to participate in society. It's not what it used to be. It's not this once very, I would argue, wholesome place. It is something entirely different right now. It is something that has a lot of people on it that no longer see the good in it, that no longer see the good in the world it creates. I mean, there are so many people out there who only really care about the internet when they can use it to put other people down. I mean, I've experienced it. Everyone's experienced it. Hate comments. I mean, that's just one of the worst feelings in the world, to get a hate comment. And, you know, when I first started YouTube, I told myself I wasn't going to be affected by hate comments because, well, I didn't think I would. I'm not the kind of person that I thought would be affected by it. I didn't think I would sit here and read them and think, wait, someone doesn't like me. I mean, on the internet and in real life is different. Like, there are benefits to the fact that we don't see subscribers as quote-unquote real people, more so than numbers. In real life, when someone comes up to you and says they hate you, now that's a very horrible feeling. I mean, honestly, I think if I got someone coming up to me and saying they hated me unsolicited, I would be kind of confused. But on the internet, you don't realize that it kind of feels the same. We only really realize that these are real people when they're not being kind to us. And that's something that I've had a really hard time understanding. But when I think about it, I think that for a lot of us, we're very hard on ourselves. And when we see these hate comments, we don't as much see them as coming from other people. We see them as coming from ourselves. Someone agreeing that we're not good enough. Someone agreeing that our content isn't good. Someone agreeing that our voice sucks, or we look bad, or whatever it may be that they're hating on. And we agree with them because that's how we feel on the inside. And sometimes that leads people to stop doing this. And I can think of so many people that have told me that they would love to start making content, but can't stand the idea of people really feeding their insecurities and agreeing that they're not enough. And that always breaks my heart because, well, the truth is, you're always gonna have that. You'll have that in anything that you're passionate about. There will always be someone that tells you what you're doing is not good enough here. That anything in the arts, and that's why I'm so hurt whenever I hear people saying that, oh, I'm so passionate about art, I'm so passionate about music, but it's not realistic. I have to do business or science, and those are great things, and every time I hear that, I always think back to that one scene in The Dead Poets Society. And I think this is, a movie that is very important to see if you haven't seen it, especially for people who are deciding to take the risk of pursuing the arts, even though they know that it's not what society expects of them, and it's maybe not even what their parents or relatives or whoever expects of you. But I think, you know, that one scene where Mr. Keating is talking to the kids and telling them about how science and business and medicine are noble pursuits. They keep us alive. But art and poetry specifically are what we live for. as people, need a reason to live. It is how we are. We are not just animals who live to live. The unfortunate part that comes with being more intelligent beings with complex systems is that we need more than just food and water. We need life. We need to experience life. We need to have a reason for that life. And as creators, we often want to be that thing, that reason. And honestly, YouTube for a lot of people ends up being their reason, their passion. It's the thing that they live for. So my message to everyone who has thought about this, who wants to do this, who has tried this but stopped because of one reason or another, but wants to get back into it, there is always going to be something in your head that tells you no. No matter if you have 10 subscribers, 1,000, 10,000, a million, tens of millions, no matter how many there are, there will always be something. And, well, if you're truly passionate about it, that something will, it'll always be there, but you won't give into it. You'll realize that this is my thing, and no one is going to take that away from me, and it's not going to be perfect at first, and it will never truly be perfect. I mean, I look back at my own content, and I completely cringe at the stuff I made a year ago. And, you know, in a year from now, maybe I'll cringe at this video. But we need that. We need to learn and we need to grow, and there will be someone that tells you to stop, and there will be you at some point that tells you to stop. And that's when you sit down and you have to think, is my life worth it? Is my passion worth all of this? Can I deeply imagine my life without doing what I am doing right now? And if you can't, well, that means you keep going, because you're not going to be happier doing something else. You're not going to be happier conforming to society. You're not going to be happier doing what other people expect of you. You're not going to be happier. In fact, you might be more miserable. So I want to leave you with this. Just press record, or just pick up the paintbrush, or just pick up the pen, or just pick up the computer to start animating or coding. Just start. Because if you don't start, then you're never gonna know. And to me, I know that if I never pressed record the first time, I would have deeply regretted it. And that's a regret I don't think I could have lived with. So press record and do it, so you don't regret it. It's better to live life knowing you tried than to live life with regret of what could have been. I can't wait to see what you create.